And he was not a passive person by any stretch of the imagination. Anybody that's prayed in this case knows that my father was a very, very proactive person. If you made a mistake, he said Kaddish wrong. If you were doing something that was not the right way of doing it, he felt the responsibility. He said, why stay in darkness your entire life? It's about time that you said the Kaddish the right way, and that's why I must say that he was always a fighter for the honor of Torah, for the honor of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and that's why he was blessed with beautiful children, a beautiful son-in-law that's a tremendous Talmidei Chachamim, Rabbi Eli Baal Hanes. And one of the yeshiva bachrim told me amazing Ramban that really, really talks about my father. So many people came and attacked me personally in this Kenisa. And they told me like this, and I'm being very frank with you, I'm talking to you kind of like Donald Trump now, uncensored. When I became the rabbi here, a lot of people, my father was a king, he was a lion, they couldn't take it. And they used to tell me that, everybody loves you, Rabbi, but your father's so tough. But like I was telling Rabbi Sheftel Neuberger, the Menahel of Ner Yisrael, the Ramban in the end of Shemot says there's two types of people that give charity. There's a type of person that just throws money. He may throw $1 million, $10 million, but he doesn't care for that money, how it's used. My father, when he, like Yosef said, it's not a joke. When he invested half of his life savings in this Kenisa, he very much treated it like a baby. And that's the highest level of tzedakah, the Ramban says. Because it's very easy just to give money, but on a daily basis, to treat the synagogue like a baby, to make sure everything is going right. Not that there should be this misunderstanding that synagogues don't need rabbis. Not that this misunderstanding that, I tell you something about my father. He was the anti of wishy-washy. He was not a pushover. If he believed in something, if something was important to him, he would kill himself to be the best in it. That's why he would always tell me, I came over here to Santa Monica, I don't learn Daf Yomi anymore. So we used to learn Amud Yomi. We didn't used to learn Daf Yomi. We used to learn half a page. But it came out, I was looking at the calendar. We were on Makot, Daf Chaf Dalet. We were finishing Makot, and Daf Yomi was also on Makot. I said from here today, you're not complaining anymore, Father. Because he was just such a high achiever. This Friday I was with a very, very wealthy man doing a business deal, and it was unbelievable. Like many of the rabbis said, somebody that was so knowledgeable about real estate, so knowledgeable about real estate development, to be such a learned Jew. I tell you something. All the money in the world was nothing for my father. The true happiness that he had was when he was here, when he was praying, when he was learning Torah. And just a week ago, I met Rabbi Michal Pressburger. There was an angel in Vienna, Austria. The angel, Rabbi Michal Pressburger, Rav Michael, کمک کرد خیلی از ایران بتونن بیان آمریکا. And he told me to say something today. Rav Michael said, بگو به همه، بابا یه کسی بود که دلسوز بود. He said, every time I would come to America, your father would write me a big check, but much more important than that, he would talk to me for half an hour. What's going on over there? What's the situation over there in Vienna? And this is what the Ramban says. It's very easy just to throw money at something and say sayonara, hasta la vista. But it's another thing when you invest money and you really care about it, that it should become a Makom Torah, I didn't name the synagogue after my father, Michael H. Braun. I think it was appropriate that we named it the Michael H. Braun Torah Center. Because the biggest love that he had was the Torah. He loved so much. And you know, a lot of people don't know this, but my father was a very tough man. He was like a king, he was like a general. But when an Israeli soldier would die young, I kid you not, he would cry like a baby for half an hour. Because just like SHLOMO HaMelech, his heart, it was unbelievable how emotional he could get. It was really dichotomy that on one hand, outside his exterior was he was a strong person. But inside, when he saw that a poor Israeli soldier would die, it was very, 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 very difficult for him to swallow. And I just want to finish with one thought. And this, I want to thank my very good friend, Rabbi Derry from Israel. When my father passed away, he said something very important. He said, your father, you know, my father, a lot of people don't know, he had a PhD in economics and law. And we have to thank my uncle Hamid. He brought the degree from Iran.
Real estate too.
Yeah, he was a licensed real estate broker. He was a licensed contractor, but he very, very, very much was meshamesh talmidei chachamim. Now, what am I saying? Somebody that was so wise, if a rabbi would tell him this is the way it needs to be done, he would be mevatel his da'at. He would, you know, in Torah HAIM, we had a big, big problem over there. They had voted, Rav Weinberg Zatzal, Rosh Hashiva Zatzal, had said that they have to make a president, and my father was voted in the president. At that time, he used to be on a constant contact with Rosh Hashiva Zatzal, Rav Shmuel Yaakov Weinberg, and Rabbi Neuberger. And even though my father, his opinion was very strong, he was like a king, he was like a lion. But if a rabbi said, no, this is how the Torah wants it to be, he said, that's it. I'm nothing compared to the Torah. And this is really what the Gemara says, Gadol Shimusho Yoter Milimudo. It's very, very wonderful to learn Torah. But much more magnificent and greater and deeper than that is to sit at the feet of Talmidei Chachamim. He loved Harav ben David Shlita. We have a rabbi, a lot of Persian people. He's from Hamadan. People don't really know how much of a great person he is. But he was the Mashkiach of Purat Yosef, Harav Eliezer ben David. And I must say, my brothers and sisters have to forgive me on this one, but I have the booklet. Every time for the last 20 years, Harav Eliezer ben David used to come to LA, my father used to write down his Devar Torah. I have the booklet. It's Ashrei Misher Ba'al Lekan V'Talmudo B'Yado. And it didn't matter that he was in Santa Monica, people. I call it Satan Monica because it's very hard to deal with the city. Now I have to go there on a constant basis. But, you know, he did not care that he was in Santa Monica. If his Rebbe, Harav Eliezer ben David, which was a Talmud of the Chazon Ish, said that Shemona Esrei or Shema Yisrael should take 5 minutes, this is the way it is. We don't make any compromises. Like I said, my father was the anti of wishy-washy. Whatever he believed in, he didn't compromise. If this is the best way to have a synagogue, the best way to pray, the best way to do X, Y, and Z. And one time, I tell you a funny story with him and Harav ben David. Rabbi ben David had come to Torah HAIM to give a class. He started talking for 2 minutes. My father opened up his book. He said, Rabbi, you said this 10 years ago. 10 years ago you had given this speech. So he said, oh, Mr. Hekmatjah, whenever you're there, I got to make sure I come up with a new idea. So people don't realize, I really thank Rabbi Hochscher for mentioning this. A lot of people used to think my dad was a rabbi. He wasn't a formal rabbi, but the amount of knowledge he had in Torah and the discipline that he had, a lot of times in life, my father wanted me to do some stuff, and I wasn't able to do it. You know what he always used to tell me? He says there's no excuses. The reason you're not doing it is because you're lazy. He was mamish in that I was talking to Rabbi Eli's Rosh Koilel Shlita. He said in that way he was like Rabbi Isser of Simcha Zissel Mikel. He was a very, very hard worker. Anybody that knows my father, if a project needed to be done, he would kill himself. He would work so hard. But Baruch Hashem, he became a leader in the Jewish community, and he was able to use his hard work ethic to build what? Where we're sitting right now, to build Torah. And I just want to finish with an amazing, amazing story with Rav Ovadia Yosef and my father, and then we'll call it a night. Like I said, my father very much knew, this is the number one problem we have in the world right now. In modern Orthodox or synagogues. And if honestly I didn't know this, I would not have become a rabbi myself. We're living in a world where everybody wants to be autonomous. It wants to be hefkerut. Who are you to tell me how to live my life? Who are you to say that I have to cover my hair, this, that? My father very, very much cherished. See, when he did something, he went to the chief. If he wanted to, I remember, this is in 1970, 7 years before I was born. At that time, Rabbi Ovadia Yosef did something very controversial. He said we're allowed to give back the land of Israel for peace. You understand? Rav Shach, the Lubavitcher Rebbe, a lot of the rabbis were against this. So my father was a very interesting man. He was very strongly opinionated. My father, how many aunts, how much family did he have in Israel? Yeah, my grandfather, Zichronim Libracha, David, that I'm named after, had 5 sisters. And all 5 of them lived in Israel. So my father used to go to Israel a lot. So he was furious that Rav Ovadia Yosef would do such a thing. To give land, he said, the Jewish soldiers, they had died. How can you do such a thing, give land for peace? He was a very, very staunch Zionist. And he did not, so guess what he did? He went to Rav Ovadia Yosef's house, and he knocked. He knocked over there, the Rebbitzin came out, Rebbitzin Margalit, and she said, Rav Ovadia is giving a shiur, he's not going to come back for another 3 hours. My father had gone to his house at 8 o'clock. She said, you're going to have to wait here till 11. He said, I'll wait on the sidewalk. At the time, he wasn't in Har Nof, he was. So my father waited 3 hours in front of Rav Ovadia Yosef's house. He came in. So my father went to Maran, Geona Torah, Rav Ovadia Yosef, and he said, you see all these receipts. So at the time, Rav Ovadia, since he wanted many kolalim and yeshiva to be built, they would make him the honorary president of many kolalim and yeshivot. So my father, even from a young age, he liked to give tzedakah. He had like 20 receipts. Not so much money, each one was 20 shekel, 10 shekel, 5 shekel. He said he made a sum total, and he told Rav Ovadia Yosef, you need to give me a refund for all this money that I gave to these yeshivas that you're the president of. So Rav Ovadia Yosef scratched his head and he said, what are you talking about? He said, listen, you said you could give back the land of Israel for free. I also want a refund on the money that I donated to all these yeshivot, that it says your name on here. It says that you're the honorary president. So Rav Ovadia Yosef saw that my father was very, very, very mad. He said, listen, whenever we say Oseh Shalom B'Mrumav, you go back 3 steps. He said, you're right. It's terrible. Many Jewish boys died to get this land of Israel. Every parcel, 4 inches of the land of Israel, Jewish blood had to be spilled. But under the Torah, there's nothing bigger than peace. Shalom. What's the biggest blessing in the world? Shalom. That's why when we say Oseh Shalom B'Mumah, we go back 3 steps. So my father, Rav Ovadia Zatzal, told my father, if you want Shalom in the land of Israel, you're going to have to do what? Go back 3 steps. And by the way, he gave him a few cookies and teas, he calmed it down. They kissed each other. My father was minimally satisfied. So fast forward 20 years later, my grandmother Pari, her yahrzeit is on the 25th of Tammuz. And this we have to thank Mr. Avalar. My father was in Israel, and it was his mother's yahrzeit. So he went to the Chacham David Yosef's shul, Yechabe Da'at, and he bought Haftarah. He wanted to say the Haftarah, he said Haftarah. After the Gabbai told my father, Rav Ovadia wants to speak to you. So, the amazing memory Rav Ovadia had. Rav Ovadia said to my father, Shlomo, remember how upset you were that I said that we should give the Arabs land for peace? I was wrong, you were right. These people are like animals. Whatever you give them, they want more. And this is just, I wanted to demonstrate here that he was the type of person that if he believed something, he wouldn't be scared of anything. Rav Ovadia said this, and you know that story parenthetically is just amazing that how much Rav Ovadia was modeh al-amet, that he remembered my father all those years later and he said, you know, you were right. So may Hashem help us. Like I said a year ago, my father was such a great person. اینقدر خصلت‌های خوبی داشت که واقعا یک کتاب برداشته شد. ولی اگه یه چیزی بتونیم از زندگی بابام یاد بگیریم اینه که آدم باید یه کمی آدم دلش بسوزه واسه قوم اسرائیل. اندازه سرمون مسئولیت قبول کنه که این جامعه اسرائیل خدایی نکرده با این اسیمیلاسیون همه این بدبختی‌ها هم اسرائیل قوم اسرائیل قوی بمونه. دوباره از همه دعوت میکنیم واسه شام بمونن تیه نشمتا و سرورا بسرعت همه برپا هشتابا میگیم